Hi. So I am going to take you through this process on how to make this image, giving the illusion of two-point perspective, giving the illusion of depth. Now the way you look at this, that this line right here, this broken line, that's what you're going to draw first, and that's what's closest to you in this picture. It's going to give the illusion that this is the thing that's closest, and everything kind of goes back in space, and all the lines lead to either one of these two vanishing points. So to start you off, you need to come up with some points. You're going to measure 4.5 inches here, which is half of 9. You're going to put a little mark at 4.5, a little mark at 4.5, and you're going to make this broken line. Then you're going to make your two vanishing points. This is a 12-inch piece of paper, and you're going to mark these at 6. Now, one of the things that's going to help you to kind of visualize this before we even start with this process, I have this paper out for you, and this is kind of a guide to showing you how the letters, how the shapes are going to go. So if this is the line that you're going to start with, the idea is that all the lines on this side are either going to the vanishing point or they're going to be vertical. Okay? So all these lines are going to be going to the vanishing point or they're going to be vertical. And if you wanted to use this sheet just kind of practice and get a feel of it, to get started, you absolutely can do that. So it goes to the vanishing, just like that. And then all the lines here, they're either going to this vanishing point or they're vertical. Now I don't have the vertical lines laid out on this sheet, but I'll probably just put them in. Okay. And these shapes that you're going to make are going to be kind of interlocking, sort of kind of fitting together. There's going to be these spaces in between. So you can make them in any sort of way that you want. Some of these spaces are going to be big, some of these guys are going to be small, and it's up to you how you want them to look. Okay. And if you want to build one right here, you can just start off with another vertical line. So hopefully this gives you an idea, like a visualization of this. Then I'll have these blank copies for you over where the paper is. So now we're going to put it in place for this drawing. Okay, so once again, you're going to make some marks. You want to get a line down the middle. So if this is a 9-inch piece of paper, you're going to mark it at 4.5 on the bottom. And you can make a mark at 4.5 on the top. Then you're going to make a broken line. And so one of the things I recommend is that you have a decent amount of space in between each of these lines. You don't want them to be too close because, again, these little spaces in between are going to start getting smaller and smaller as they go towards the vanishing point. So you don't want to start them off really big. Or really small. For example, this one, you see how they start to really get very close together. So again, you don't want them to be too close at the beginning because they're only going to get smaller and smaller, and it'll be hard to kind of manage. So when you make this broken line, you don't have to start off at the very, very top. You can kind of come down a 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 of an inch. And this line you can make pretty dark. There's no other lines that are going to go in front of these. So my suggestion is to do anywhere between 5 and 7 lines. I have 5. Now one of the things you can do is if you want to have 6, you can always just take your eraser and make another gap if you wanted to. Okay, so the other thing we're going to need are those vanishing points. This is a 12-inch piece of paper. Okay, so we're going to mark it at 6. Right on the edge. And you want these dots to be dots. You don't want them to be splotches or big circles. You want them to be indeed dots, just like that. So you got one here and one there. So now we're going to start building. So if you remember, you can keep this guide next to you if you wanted to, sort of as a, you know, to remember. Some of you guys might feel compelled to like put it underneath, and so while the practice paper, you might be able to lightly see it, or you can even go up to a light box. I do want you to kind of get used to not tracing, okay? Just because when we start working, doing our final on the tag board, you won't be able to see through the tag board. Okay, so the idea is that all the lines on this side go to one or two, you know, one place or another place. They're either going to this vanishing point, or they're going to be vertical, okay? And then the shapes you're going to make start on one point of that line you made. So now I can either make it go vertical down this way. Here, I'll zoom in a bit. I can make it go vertical this way, or I can go up. Got to be careful in these areas right here. There's going to be like the perspective is going to get very, very extreme. So you got to be careful. You don't want to make a lot of vertical lines coming up here, because those lines of perspective are going to be very dramatic, and you know, may not look right. But I am going to come up this time, just a little bit though. Okay. So now the next line I'm going to make is going to be going to the vanishing point. Okay. The next line, again, I can go up or down. This time I'm going to go down. And so the idea is to eventually get back here. So you can stop at that point, and then you can work on this line. So again, I'm taking the line to the vanishing point. The next line is going to be vertical, so I can either go up or I can go down. I want to see where this ends up going, so I'm going to make a line from this point, the vanishing point, see where this ends up. So it's going to end up over there, so I can actually end this right here with another vertical. Okay, just like that. So you're going to keep going with this, and you're going to keep drawing your lines of perspective going to the vanishing points, as well as lines that are vertical. And you're going to start to work a little lighter, because your lines might be too long and you might need to make them shorter, or you know, any errors, you want to just kind of work with a lighter hand. So you can see already those two lines are getting really close together. So I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to go to the vanishing point. Okay. Shapes could be big, shapes could be small. Going to work again. So you can start to see how the direction of those lines are shifting. The direction of the line was, we're going straight down, those lines of perspective. Now they're going almost horizontally. This line's going up actually. So again, some of you guys might end up with big shapes. Some spaces are going to be a little bit smaller. I can add one if I wanted to, maybe up here. I can just go with a vertical line here and start with a new shape. Vanishing point. Vanishing point. And again, you can see how close together they're starting to get. Okay. And you just keep doing the process until you have this side filled up, just like you have over here. You want to fill this up with some spaces. Okay? Now you can also, if you wanted to, make some windows inside of these spaces, and the windows follow the same rule. I don't know how muffled my voice is getting. The photocopier decided to start doing stuff, so sorry about that. But these windows that you're making are following the same rules. All the lines are going to this vanishing point, or they're going to be vertical. So you keep doing this process until you have it all completed. Now here's one thing that you guys can try doing. Is you can actually combine lines together. these two broken lines here, I'm going to make it into like the letter C. So as you're working, some of you guys are going to have small shapes, some of you guys are big shapes, some of you guys will have complex shapes, some of you guys will have more simple shapes. So there is going to be a pretty big variety, and I am welcoming the originality. The first one you do is going to be practice, so that's okay. You know, you kind of work through your problems and stuff today and tomorrow until you're ready to work on the final. Okay, so this is step one of the process. So you can see here, like, I'm not going to just connect these two lines together. I got to take a line. The lines have to go that way. So I could go like this, but you see how really, really tiny it gets. It gets really close over there. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to move it out a little bit. Take this straight down. And this will ending up going down like that. And I just erase the leftover. So you keep going. When you're done with this side, you're going to do the other side. Okay? This is just going to be step one. I'll have a few videos for you.